On vehicle inspection of cooling system. For starting, be sure that the ignition is off if you work near the electric cooling fans or radiator grill. With the ignition on, the electric cooling fans may automatically start to run if the engine coolant temperature is high and/or the air conditioning is on. And to prevent the risk of burns, do not take off the radiator caps if the engine and radiator are still hot. The heat will cause the hot engine coolant and steam to forcefully come out of the radiator. Check cooling system for leakage. To check for leaks in the cooling system, first fill the radiator assembly with engine coolant. Then, attach a radiator cap tester and start pumping the tester's hand pump to pressurize the cooling system. To find the recommended pressure rating, refer to your car's manual or the radiator cap itself. Pump until the gauge on the tester reaches that pressure, then check that the pressure does not drop. If the pressure on the gauge drops over time, usually within 10 to 15 minutes, it indicates a leak in the system. Carefully examine all the cooling system components for leaks. Look for coolant spraying, dripping, or seeping out around hoses, clamps, the radiator itself, the water pump, or the heater core connections. Be cautious as some leaks may be just a seep and not a spray, so a thorough inspection is important. If there are no signs or traces of external engine coolant leakage, check the heater core, cylinder block, and head. Inspect reservoir tank engine coolant level. The engine coolant should be between the low and full lines when the engine is cold. If it is below the low line, check for leakage and add coolant. Inspect engine coolant quality. Remove the radiator cap and check for excessive deposits of rust or scale around the radiator cap and radiator filler hole. The engine coolant should be free of oil. If excessively dirty, replace the engine coolant. Inspect fins for blockage. If the fins are clogged, wash them with water or a steam cleaner and dry them with compressed air. To avoid damaging the fins, the injection direction should be at right angles to the core surface. If the fins are bent, straighten them with a screwdriver or pliers. Check radiator cap. Measure the valve opening pressure. Before testing, if there are water stains or foreign matter on rubber packings, clean the parts with water and gentle scrubbing. Check that rubber packings are not deformed, cracked, or swollen. Also, ensure that rubber packings are not stuck together. Pump the cap tester several times and check the maximum pressure. If the maximum pressure is less than the specified pressure for the minimum standard valve, replace the radiator cap.